Good evening. I tried to think of a lot of different ways to introduce this lesson, and I never did figure out a good one. But, uh, you know, years ago when I first started working with computers, we had an acronym that we used, and all of you, I'm sure, have heard it, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. What you put into the computer is what you get out of the computer. Well, I think our minds sort of work the same way. What we put in is what we get out. There's a lot of things going on in this world today, a lot of violence and things like that. And without getting into that a whole lot, but, I think a lot of that has to do with what we're letting our children see and the things that we're putting in their minds, these games, the violent games and things they see on TV and all that. But that's really not what I'm going to talk about tonight. That was just a start. What we need to be putting into their minds is what's in the Bible. And there's a lot of good material in the Bible, and I looked through several things, and finally I came up with Psalm 101. And Psalm 101 is the Psalm of David. And in the English Standard Version, they give titles to the different sections. And in it says, a man of integrity. And David in it tells the things that he plans to do, or that he says he will do, to make him a godly person. And I think there's some good advice in there for all of us. So what I want to do is just go through that and talk about this a little bit, verse by verse, in Psalm 101. Verse 1 says, I will sing of steadfast love and justice. To you, O Lord, I will make music. Okay. David says that he will sing. He doesn't say he has to sing, but he says he will sing because of God's steadfast love and justice. Now, in Ephesians 5:19, it tells us this in our worship, addressing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing and making melody to the Lord with your heart. So our heart should be motivated to sing because of the love of God. And then the first part of verse 2, it says, I will ponder the way that is blameless. Oh, when will you come to me? Each day we're faced with choices that we have to make. We have to think about those choices. He says, I will ponder the way that is blameless. We need to make sure that we make the right choice. In Proverbs 4:26, Solomon admonishes us to do this. Ponder the path of your feet, then all your ways will be sure. In other words, don't do things without thinking about them. Plan ahead. Do the things that we know that are right. And then the second part of verse 2, it says, I will walk with integrity of heart within my house. Okay, he says, I will walk with integrity within my house. I think what that implies is that we should walk the same way when everybody can't see us. We don't act one way out in public and then come home and act another way. We should act the same way in everything that we do. We need to, like I say, not put on a show for others and then act differently at home. We need to treat our family in a godly way, as described in Ephesians chapters 5 and 6. That's a whole another lesson, but how to treat your family, how to treat your wife, how to treat your children, and so forth. So we need to do that. Verse 3 says, I will not set before my eyes anything that is worthless. I hate the work of those who fall away. It shall not cling to me. This, to me, reminds me of one of Don's favorite verses, to redeem the time. It's a commitment to redeem the time. We need to make the most of the time that God has given us. In Ephesians 5:15 and 16, in King James Version, it says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. The phrase redeeming the time is also found in Colossians 4:5. Walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time. In both passages, redeeming the time is related to wisdom in how we walk. That is, in how we live our lives, how we go about our lives. Verse 4 in Psalms 101 says, a perverse heart shall be far from me. I will know nothing of evil. We need to be we need to be pure in our actions and pure in our heart. There is a hymn, which I have asked Steve to sing in a few minutes, that says, purer in heart, O God, help me to be. That should be our prayer each day. Verse 5 says, whoever slanders his neighbor secretly, I will destroy. Whoever has a haughty look and an arrogant heart, I will not endure. Now, this was part of David. He was a ruler, and this was something that he could do. But we need to not participate or tolerate in slander, and also we don't need to be prideful. We need to always speak well of other people and not badly of them. Always look for the best in everyone. And sometimes it's a whole lot easier to see the bad part, but we need to look for the best in everything. We need to have humble hearts before God. Verse 6, I will look with favor on the faithful in the land, that they may dwell with me. He who walks in the way that is blameless shall minister to me. We need to spend our time with faithful people. We need to spend our time with other Christians. Now, that's one thing that I really enjoy, is having our fellowships, because we get to be together with fellow Christians. We see their example, we see their love for each other, and we can teach each other and we can help build each other up. So we need to spend a lot of time with other Christians. Verse 7 says, no one who practices deceit shall dwell in my house. No one who utters lies shall continue before my eyes. Morning by morning I will destroy all the wicked in the land, cutting off all the evildoers from the city of the Lord. In other words, we should have nothing to do with evildoers. We should stay away from them. And one of the main things that we need to remember, I think, is, and Joshua said it, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Stay away from evil. Make sure that you serve the Lord. If you're here tonight and you have a need, if you have not accepted Christ as your Savior and need to be baptized into his death, or if you have any other need, you need the prayers of the church, anything that you need prayers for, come as we stand and sing.